Hi everybody. Whoa. Good morning. I'm like in the sun. Hi Doug. I am blind right now. I'm gonna move so I can not be blind. How are you? Hi. We are gonna be getting started in just a second. I want to give everybody a minute to log on. Hello. Happy Monday. Did everybody have a good weekend? Debbie. Good morning. Is everybody all caffeinated? Everybody's feeling good today? Yeah, good. I'm in North Carolina, and my name is Debbie, and I have a bunch of kids, and I wanted to talk to you about the dangers of dairy. Why milk does not do a body good. Hi. I'm so glad that y'all are joining me. We're going to do our Monday Periscope. I try to do Monday Periscopes. Thank you for the hearts. So, do you love milk? Do you love all things milk? I hope not. We are going to break that habit and want to share with you why milk does not do a body good. And when I say milk, I am including all forms of dairy, things like cheese, ice cream, cow's milk. It's funny how dairy is in so many different products. It's in whey protein. It's in muscle milk. I think cheese and ice cream are probably the favorite forms, at least for adults, of dairy intake. And I want to tell you, oh, you need it for your omelets. I understand. You're drinking milk right now? I used to be a big milk drinker. My family would go through about 4 gallons a week. And I want to tell you why you do not want to do that. Now, please understand when I'm talking about dairy, I am not talking about calcium. We do need calcium, but we don't need it in the form of dairy. Okay, we're just going to block that friend. Good morning. No, I'm not famous. There's no dairy and alcohol. Doug, that is very true. Okay, so did you know that, I know milk had a big campaign, probably, I don't know, maybe like 5 years ago, how you could get skinny by drinking milk. It's so unfortunate how the food industry is backwards. White Russians, I love it. That's funny. Unfortunately, milk is the most common food allergen. And this is worldwide, not just Americans, but it all goes back to the farms and how things are processed and pasteurized these days. So unfortunately, if you're like 75% of the world's population, your body does not tolerate dairy as well as you think it does. And you're probably thinking, no, it's fine. Cheese and milk and ice cream and whey protein actually don't bother me. That's what we've convinced ourselves. But unfortunately, that's not actually reality. And the way you can find this out, sorry, I'm so shaky. I'm trying to like hold my camera with one hand. That does not work. The reason that does not work, you have a pet cow. You're hilarious, Doug. You're cracking me up. Is because we haven't eliminated it. So what I would suggest, and I'll remind you at the end of this Periscope to do this, is to do an elimination of all things dairy. Now, I'm not talking about a reduction. I'm talking elimination, which is really hard. I want you to go 3 weeks dairy-free and see, number one, how you feel during. And then I want you to see how you feel after when you allow yourself dairy. That's what I did. I went 3 weeks without dairy, which was brutal because that was back when I was addicted to Starbucks mochas, which is a whole different thing. And I went 3 weeks without dairy. I had my mocha. I deserved it. And I wanted to vomit. I couldn't even finish that drink. Okay? And I loved Starbucks mochas. So dairy is the most common food allergen that is in existence. The other ones are things like soy and gluten and certain people tree nuts and eggs. But milk is number one. So this may be causing your weight loss resistance. Hello. So the most common thing we hear about the benefits of dairy is the whole osteoporosis prevention. It is false, unfortunately. By drinking cow's milk, you can actually increase your rate of fractures, especially in the hip area, by 50%. Drinking cow's milk can make your bones more brittle. I know. I can't believe this. Hi, turkey. Calcium's good. Dairy is not good. So just keep that in mind. I'm not saying you don't need calcium, but we can get calcium from non-dairy milk. So that can be your coconut milk, almond milk, cashew milk, and hemp milk. Hi, I'm so glad that you're here. So another bomb I got to drop on you, girls and guys, is that drinking dairy can increase your risk of cancer, especially prostate cancer and cervical cancer. I'm not saying it's going to give you cancer. I'm saying it's going to increase your likelihood. I know you don't want to hear that, but I also know you don't want prostate or ovarian cancer, depending on which gender you are. So that kind of makes it a little bit easier to say no to the cheese on your salads. Fresh milk is better. I guess if you're going to go with like goat's milk, maybe. Yeah, we probably will find out almonds are bad in a few years. That's why I did a podcast with On Air with Ella, and I joked that I'm on a celery and vodka diet because it's the only thing that hasn't been proven to be bad for you. I'm totally kidding. That's not all I have. A lot of people think milk improves your athletic performance. You know, people talk about muscle milk. That's a popular drink that you can get in convenience stores. It's another false claim, unfortunately. So if 75% of us are genetically unable to process properly dairy, that means you're lactose intolerant. You may not realize it. Yes, it is bad for your tall, skinny children. I have tall, skinny children, more skinny than tall, because we're going to get our calcium from other sources. Here are the other places that you can get calcium that is good for you, okay? Because we do want that calcium. You're going to get those from vegetables, especially leafy green vegetables. That's so funny. That was what I was going to talk about, Gary. That's another thing, is that you can get sinus infections, all kinds of sinus problems from drinking anything or eating anything that has dairy in it. So you want to have lots of fruits. Fruits can give you the calcium that you need. You're going to get those from vegetables. You're going to get them from seeds and from nuts and beans and non-dairy milk. So there's plenty of sources for you to have those calcium needs met. So the problem is we don't get a better athletic performance. You're not going to do better at sports or workouts. You're going to have sinus infections. You're likely to break your bones more easily if you drink or eat anything with cow's milk in it. And so that can look like whey, casein, lactose. There's lots of different code words for things that have dairy in them. No, not going to kiss you, but thanks. That just always throws me off when people are crazy. So here are the downsides of dairy if you don't believe me. And again, this will be proven. Your body will reveal itself. If you just give it 3 weeks dairy-free, you're going to have bloating. You're going to potentially have lots of gas. You're all like filled with air. It's disgusting. You're either going to struggle with constipation or diarrhea. Gross. You are going to potentially have your face break out, which nobody wants that. So a lot of times when I see, especially adults with acne, a lot of times I just want to tell them, I just want to tell them that they maybe should cut back on the dairy. And I know it's hard to eliminate, but why not go ahead and start reducing it today? Now that you have this powerful knowledge, you can get those sinus problems that we mentioned. You can also get ear infections. So a lot of times when friends of mine talk about their children needing tubes in their ears, they're always having to go to the ENT. I say, try to go dairy-free first. It can also contribute to get this type 1 diabetes. Would you ever have thought that dairy would give you type 1 diabetes? And it can also in children, and remember, I'm a mom too, contribute to children having anemia. I don't want to do that. I know you're sad about cream. I think you can come up with great alternatives that are still giving you that creamy feel. I know. It's so crazy that we said milk for bones and fluoride for teeth, and now we know that both of those are bad. Thanks, research. And a million years ago, it was a different story. You know, your great-grandparents could get away with drinking milk and having grains and doing all these things because everything was different And it all goes back to the farms and all that stuff that you see people ranting and raving from. So if dairy causes inflammation, that means we are going to have joints that hurt. Hi, West Africa. I'm so glad that you're here. And because the issue with milk, and it's not just in the United States, but that's where I live, it has more hormones and antibiotics. So it's contributing to these nasty things inside of our body. Whether you're male or female, you don't want this. And milk can also raise your cholesterol. That kind of, all of this, when you put all this together, all this information, you're like, is it really worth having that bowl of ice cream at night when you can have coconut milk ice cream? That exists. You can get coconut milk yogurt, because I know everybody's on a Greek yogurt kick. We're going to get off of that kick. We're not doing yogurt. We're not doing Greek yogurt. Yogurts are filled with sugar. Greek yogurts still have dairy in them. For protein powder, you can do whey-free. You can do plant-based protein powder. So there are alternatives to every form of dairy. I have gotten my children off of cow's milk, which has been brutal. It's one thing for adults to do it, it's another for children, but it is possible. So what questions do you have about dairy and milk and cheese? And surprisingly, I find dairy in so many things that surprise me. The other night I went to a friend's house, and yeah, you can do the kefir, that's good. And I was looking at some mixed nuts and seeds and little sesame sticks that I had bought. And I looked at the label and I was like, are you kidding me? It's got whey protein. Why is there whey protein added to nuts and seeds? It's ridiculous. So you do have to be really anal about reading nutrition labels in the store before you buy the products. Because if you buy it, you will eat it. I know we love milk, cheese, and yogurt. So on your salad, instead of cheese, why not add some juiciness from salsa or guacamole or hummus? Remember, we're still going to get that calcium that we need. And I'm going to make a blog out of this at fitwithdeb.com. Don't drink soy milk. Oh, for crying out loud. That's another hormonal mess. So I think coconut, almond, and cashew milk are all good. You just want to read the ingredients. Some of them have a word that I'm going to totally butcher. It's like, it starts with a C, carrageenan, something like that. I can't pronounce it. But that contributes to cancer. So just be really mindful about what kind you get. My favorite sources for nutrition advice. I really like Dr. Hyman. If you can find him on the interweb, you've got cashew milk, great. And I also love Metabolic Effect. That's where I get a lot of my information for the hormonal impact that food has versus the caloric impact of food. So I do try to research and read from a lot of different sources, because if you stick with one person, they're so slanted, or they're potentially funded by somebody, or their study was a little bit biased. So you do have to, unfortunately, do some work and listen to a bunch of different people. And then, of course, I tell people, look at who has a good body and ask them what they do. Ask them, how do you work out? What in the world is your nutrition like? And see what they say. Because chances are they strictly limit the dairy. Some people, 25% of people, can handle that milk and they're ripped and they've got six packs, and high five to them. But I have found when I drink milk, I get headaches, I get tired, and I get irritable. And you don't want any of those. So what questions do you have? What else can I tell you about how dangerous dairy is, unfortunately, about, yeah, you're welcome, about contributing to cancer, breaking our bones, giving us inflammation and nausea and constipation, diarrhea, bloating, acne. It's terrible. I'm so sorry. I am going to upload this dairy-free. We're going to download this Periscope, upload it to YouTube so that you can watch this later, or the replay is available for 24 hours. But I do have to run. I've got lots of workout girls who are, can you see them pulling up? They're ready to sweat, and they're talking and waiting for me at the workout. But I'm so glad that you joined me, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'm going to see you at my next Periscope. Okay, bye. I got to go.